everybody. Welcome back to Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl Toya. And this episode is called Feel All the Things, right? And this is going to be a talk, some tips, some pointers about just feeling all of your emotions. Because we sometimes as humans, myself included, we try to mask every emotion that is not joy, that is not happiness. And I found that is very toxic behavior to ourselves, right? We're human beings, and we sometimes try to run away from our humanness and act like we can only be happy. We are only feeling joy, right? Especially in this day and age of the internet. We only see people posting their accomplishments. We only really see people posting the good things that happen in their lives, or when their outfit is popping, when their hair is on point. But in reality, we have a lot of private moments that are not good, that are not blissful, that don't feel good, that are uncomfortable. And there are things that we sometimes are ashamed of, and we feel like, I don't know where this toxic culture of only acknowledging good feelings has come from, right? But I want to push you all and encourage you all to feel everything. The only way that you can get through the hard and the difficult and the unfavorable emotions is by feeling them fully, right? We're humans. We're not on autopilot. We don't only feel joy. We don't only feel happiness. It is okay to name that you are sad, that you are hurt, that you are disappointed, that you are frustrated. And I've realized that this toxic behavior in adults and only showing happy emotion spills over into our kids, right? I've seen so many times, especially at work, right? We all know that I'm a teacher. When a kid feels anything other than happiness, or they don't get their way, they throw a tantrum. They ready to fight. They ready to cuss people out. Instead of naming, hey, I feel frustrated. Can I go take a 5-minute break? Or, oh my God, this happened to me at home. I'm a little sad right now. Can I get a minute to myself? And I think we as adults don't even do that, right? We try to push kids to only feel joy, and we get frustrated as adults. Sometimes I've seen parents get frustrated with their kids when they feel anything other than happiness, right? I've seen parents, and I would say, I'm not a mom, but I feel like this is toxic parenting when we feel like we have to always reprimand our kids harshly when they express an emotion that is different from ours, or when they disagree with us. Black parents ready to whoop somebody's ass because you disagree with them. That's not healthy. That's showing your kids that feeling any emotion outside of happiness for what I do for you, for what I give to you, for what I present to you is not okay, right? And we're training children to hide any emotion other than joy, happiness, and bliss. And that is so toxic, right? And we as adults have to consciously make the decision to feel these emotions. We're ashamed to say that we're heartbroken, that we're hurt, that we're embarrassed, right? There's so much shame. And that's something that I want to explore too, is the word shame. There's so much shame associated with feelings other than those that are good and comfortable, right? Being broke. People are ashamed of that, when in reality, it happens to the best of us, right? Making decisions that put us in situations that could be having us be talked about or looked down upon. And I think we need to retrain our minds and reassociate emotions with being human, right? All of us are human, and we all feel different emotions, and we need to stop romanticizing the idea of suppressing every emotion instead of those that are happiness and joy, right? And here's why. So why I say that we need to express and feel, and I'm not saying you have to even do it in a public setting, but we sometimes run from ourselves so much in our moments of discontent and sadness and hurt, that we almost try to trick ourselves into believing that we don't feel a certain way. Right? And when you acknowledge painful emotions, that gives you the opportunity to know how to coach yourself through them when they present themselves again, right? Just as you feel moments of joy when you reach different pinnacles and different levels of success in life, you're also going to experience moments of sadness, of grief, at different points in your life. You're not always going to be happy. So acknowledging your sadness and your hurt and those feelings and those emotions, those confusing emotions, feeling anxious, feeling depressed, acknowledging all of those emotions when they come helps you to know how to deal with it when they present themselves again. Because just like we have high moments all the time, or not all the time, just like we have high moments, we're going to continuously have low moments, right? And so the first time you feel sadness, right, we're going to withdraw ourselves. You feel ashamed. But the next time sadness presents itself, you're going to remember, okay, last time I was sad, all I had to do was get in the kitchen, cook my favorite meal, play my favorite song, twerk in the mirror, and I felt better, right? The first time I felt grief, I didn't know how to handle it. I tried to be strong in front of people. I tried not to cry. I tried not to act like I felt a certain way. But then if you handle that grief in the moment, if you feel that sorrow in the moment, the next time you're sad and you're grieving, you'll be able to coach yourself through it. The next time I'm grieving, I know I need to journal. I know I need to take a walk. I know I need to do these things. And even still, owning your emotions gives you the ability to help other people through theirs. Right? We always want to be there and present for people's happy moments. Oh, you just graduated. I'm coming to your graduation. You got married. I'm coming to your wedding. But was you there? Were you encouraging that person to go? Were you encouraging that person to go to marriage counseling when their relationship wasn't good? Or did you just tell that person to leave their relationship? Right? You wanted to go to their graduation, but did you coach that same friend through their anxiety attack when they were trying to get their degree? Right? We need to own and be there for people and let people fully feel and express emotions other than happiness. Because we don't have to. And I don't know if it's just a black woman thing where we got to always be strong. We got to take on all the challenges of everybody else, that we kind of suppress our emotions, where it's like, no, you need to find your people, find your village, find your thing that lets you express those emotions. It took me a long time, and I still don't feel comfortable doing this, but having friends who are like, no, your feelings are hurt. I want you to cry. And I'm sitting there like, in front of you, you're not going to leave the room so I could cry by myself. And just owning that and being a part of somebody's village is important, because as you show your emotions, as I've seen some of my friends who I felt like were some of the strongest people I've ever seen in my life, show emotions other than happiness, show frustration, show disappointment, show embarrassment, that let me feel like it was okay, right? And we have to commit to helping to create a world where every emotion exists because it does, right? Don't just be there for the bliss, be there for everything, okay? You're not stronger than the next person because they have weak moments. You just may not have seen them. Just because you are having a weak moment, just because you are confused, depressed, anxious, doesn't mean you're any less than the person sitting next to you. You just had strength enough to show it. You had courage enough to show your emotions when they are anything other than happiness, right? Something else that I wanted to mention is the fact that we should learn to, and I think this is something that we should also teach our children to do, is to name your emotions, right? Everything that we feel has a feeling. That ain't make sense. Everything that we feel has a title or a label, right? So I think we need to learn to teach children so that they can grow up as adults who know how to regulate their emotions, right? Meaning control and handle them versus lashing out or shutting down or running away from home or, you know what I'm saying, getting aggressive with their parents. Y'all done heard all these stories about kids trying to fight parents and running away and turning to drugs and turning to alcohol as a way to cope, when we need to teach our children, we need to teach ourselves, hell, as adults, to be bold enough to name your emotion. Anything other than happiness, we kind of don't want to talk about it. We don't want to mention it. We don't want to work through it. If you are frustrated, name that. Because if you're in a room with somebody and they tell you that they are frustrated, what are you going to do? A sane person, because I done seen some people not do this. But if I'm in a room with somebody who is frustrated, I know to take a step back and give them a moment. Right? If somebody is grieving, we know to help console them, to help them through. Right? If somebody is anxious, we're trying to find a way to get them to a state of comfortability. Naming your emotions give you the opportunity to learn how to regulate them, to work through them, to push through them, so that you can get back to those blissful emotions, right? If we're afraid to name that I am feeling confused, right? A lot of students that I've seen, They do assignments sometimes, and when they're confused, they're afraid to name that they're confused, so they just sit there and don't do the work, right? And I tell them, hey, you need to complete this assignment. Now your little child getting an attitude with me, and I'm ready to about pop them in the mouth. But if they would have just said, Miss Friend, I am confused, this don't make no sense, then I could say, okay, if that's how you feel, let's work through getting you to a place of comfort with this assignment. How do I need my emotions when I'm so emotional for everything? Hell, I cry every day just watch TV. Okay, I was just watching, y'all, I'm watching this home makeover show about these people with these raggedy houses. Then they get these nice houses, and it made me cry because I was like, look, them getting a nice house. Oh my God, they deserve a nice house, right? But we need to learn how to teach people, teach our friends, teach our children how to name what it is that they feel. And sometimes you're not even always happy when you feel good. Right? There's more words than happy. Sometimes you're blissful. Sometimes you're excited. Sometimes you're feeling exuberant, right? We need to learn how to name how we feel, especially in those moments. We need to learn how to name how we feel, especially in those moments when we feel anything other than the good feelings, right? Because if we only feel the good feelings, you don't even know how to name those sometimes. So I know it's difficult. And it takes a different type of courage to name when you are embarrassed. I feel embarrassed by this. I am ashamed right now. I feel regretful, right? And that regret is something that I feel like is important too, because we oftentimes go through life, right? In situations, we fall out with friends, we fall out with family. And because we have so much pride, which is another emotion that we need to learn how to name, because pride is one of the most toxic emotions that you can have, right? In certain situations, we feel so much pride and we can't name that we let good relationships just float by, right? And so what we need to learn how to do is name, like, I was hurt by this. Can we talk about it? There's nothing wrong with talking out things. There's nothing wrong with naming, okay, I did this to you. I may have said this and hurt your feelings and I regret it. Now how can we repair it? There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes if someone expresses regret, you can give them forgiveness, right? Which is also an emotion, but that doesn't mean you have to go back. I forgive you, but I'm not in the place to reconnect. Communication is key. Naming how you feel is key, and it will get you through so many different things. It's like a breakthrough, if you will, right? So anytime you're feeling emotions, anything other than happy, name it. Name it for you. Name it for you. Even if you're not naming it so that you can work with other people or be around other people or be in cahoots with other people, name it so that when it presents itself again, you know how to handle it. Every time you're anxious, people don't see that. But you need to be aware of your feelings and know what it is so that you can coach yourself through it. You're not too strong, right? You're not too good, right? You're not weak if you feel ashamed, if you feel hurt, if you feel disrespected. Okay? Learn how to name your emotions so that you can coach yourself through them. And once you have named all of these different emotions that you go through, because we're emotional beings, right? We go through maybe 50 different emotions in a day, right? If you know how to name those emotions, it will make life so much easier to live, because you're not stuck on feeling sad and sitting in that rut forever. You're not stuck on being depressed and sitting in that dark space forever. You're acknowledging that I feel sad right now. Right? And don't take ownership over bad emotions forever. Name that's how you feel right now so that you can coach yourself and push yourself and encourage yourself to move through it. Okay? Last point. When we are feeling emotions, and I know I've been talking about the negative ones because I feel like the easy ones are easy, right? As long as you're not too prideful, we always love to feel happy. We always love to feel joy. We always love to feel connected and wanted and successful and beautiful, right? But in those moments where you feel every emotion, other than the good ones, something that is important to do is return to your why, right? Why are you here? Why are you in this relationship? Why are you at this job? Why are you pursuing this vision? Why are you walking in your purpose? Why are you helping out these kids? Why are you helping build homes? Return to your reason why, right? Return to your purpose, okay? I have to keep pushing because I have this goal, right? I feel this way right now. I'm going to coach myself through it because I still have a goal. If you're working towards something, you have a reason. All of my mamas love to say, this is my reason why. All of the mamas, this is my light and my pride and my joy, and I'll give up anything, right? Let your reason why be your reason to push through. And I'm not just saying push through, but naming your emotions is a part of pushing through. When we say push through, and sometimes I feel like when I hear people say push through, you're strong, you got this, right? None of that is saying to name how you feel right now. Because pushing through means you are pushing through something uncomfortable, and you need to be able to name it so that you can conquer it, okay? You can't overcome an obstacle that you haven't acknowledged. I'll say that again. You cannot overcome an obstacle that you have not acknowledged. That's hard to say. You cannot overcome an obstacle that you have not acknowledged. Okay? So anytime you are telling yourself to push through, you need to name what you're pushing through. I'm pushing through this heartbreak. I'm pushing through this strained relationship with my family. I'm pushing through this frustration. I'm pushing through this sadness, right? Name what it is that you're pushing through so that your mind can start to coach yourself when it revisits, when that emotion shows up again, okay? So, that's all I got for y'all. Feel everything you feel. Let the feelings flow through, because just like that emotion came, it's going to go and come again. Coming and going, right? There's nothing wrong with you for feeling bad. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling things other than happiness. You are not greater than the next person because you are on top right now. Because remember, just as quickly as you succeeded, you can fall even faster, right? Pride comes before the fall. Humble yourself. Love yourself. Feel all the feels. Joy is not the only emotion. Sadness is as well. But you're a conqueror. You're the captain of your own ship. You are in charge of your own destiny. Chase vision. And I love y'all.